Okay, so my name is Nadi Dixit, and I was a student at IISER batch. I mean, I belong to batch 14 of IISER, so I graduated last year in June. So I was one of the lucky batches to get out of IISER before the whole pandemic thing started. Yeah. So right now I'm doing my PhD at the University of Kassel in Germany. And my project is mostly a bioinformatics one. It focuses on population genetics and systematics. I'm specifically working on a plant group, a genus of plant from Southeast Asia. So I am mostly dealing with the population genetics aspect of this particular plant group. So my project is mostly theoretical and computational. Just before the pandemic started, because it was very unexpected, because when it started, I think sometime around February, late February or early March, we all expected it to go away. We thought, okay, it'll just be a few cases. I still remember telling my friend, yeah, there's just 25 cases in Germany, and then before I knew it, it had already gone up to 1,000 cases, and it was all really fast. And then the university shut down and I was supposed to stay at home. So from a research point of view, I was not all that affected, because like I said, my work is mostly a theoretical and a computational project, right? So I could actually stay at home and work. I could access my computer from at home, from at home, and it was not really a problem. I think personally it affected a lot in a very negative way, because just before the pandemic started, I had to move, like I had to shift to an apartment of my own. So before, I was living in the guest house from the university. So but then there's a limited contract, so you just get to stay there for like 6 months or something like that. So they have something like that for international students, where they can just come, move to a different country and stay in the guest house, and in the time they can find a new apartment of their own or whatever. So I was looking for my apartment at that time, like early this year, and I had to shift exactly during the time of the pandemic, and it was really scary for me, because here people tend to do things on their own. So when they're shifting, they usually rent a moving car or a small van or something, and they drive around on their own. So these are things that I cannot do, because obviously I'm new here and I don't have a license here. So I had to depend on other people. So thankfully I have good friends in my lab who were willing to help me, and I just moved in 2 or 3 days. Like, it was all very fast. But the problem was, I did not have internet connection yet. So I was waiting for internet connection, and I did not have internet connection in my apartment, and that sucked big time, because I did not have internet for about 2 weeks or something, and it was really bad. Because the only way I can connect to people back at home is via WhatsApp, like on video calls. So it was really difficult for me, from a like a personal point of view. Like, my personal life is really affected, and I think it also increased my anxiety a lot, because reading the news every day with so many things happening, it's like a lot of uncertainty, and it was quite scary for me. And because I stayed at home for almost 2 months, I would say, it screwed up my routine completely. So I would wake up at 12 or 1 every day, and it's affected me. It affects me even now, because even now I run late to the university. I'm running late to the university because of this, because I still wake up late. One good thing, one big change that happened over the past 1 year is that I moved to Germany. Here in German universities, I think it is like this elsewhere in Germany. A lot of importance is given to personal life. So if you go to your professor and say that you have a problem, that something big going on in my life, they'll actually recommend you to take time off. They'll say, okay, take your time, you don't have to come. So I really appreciated that. So first, when I started here, I kind of thought that this is some sort of a luxury that some people get. It's unlike in India, where when you go to a prof and talk about suppose you have, say, mental health issues, and you say, I have problems and I cannot work. So the usual answers that I am used to getting in India is that this is going to affect your future, or if you don't work hard enough, if you end up in a good lab, they'll kick you out if you don't, give results in this, a certain amount of time. And what will you do if they kick you out, and things like that, which adds more pressure on you. But here, it took me a while to realize that people take time. It's a way of life here.
Really
it's because there isn't a lot of competition, obviously, because of the population. There aren't a lot of people to start with, and they just have this freedom to do whatever they want. So say in India, if somebody takes a break for a year or two, they would say, oh yeah, everybody else your age is running ahead of you, where are you, what are you doing in your life, da, da, da. So that's the attitude in India. But here it's not really like that, because nobody cares. Nobody cares what you're doing in your life. And I have friends who are 27, 28 years old, and they are still doing their bachelor's. People were really surprised that I am doing a PhD at this age. They're like, why do you want to do a PhD at this age? Somebody who actually asked me, don't you like your life? Why are you doing a PhD at such a young age? But what we're used to, this system of not taking a break and going ahead because you think that, oh shit, if I don't want to lose time. So without, unconsciously, without realizing, we get into this race. And when you look back, you realize that, oh shit, this has taken a lot of toll on my health. So in the beginning, in my 5th year, I had applied to around 5 top tier universities and in the US, and I got rejections. So after that, I just thought, okay, you know what, screw it. I'll just take a break, and then I'll start exploring Europe. So it was around this time that Harshad recommended this a particular website to me. It's called Evolve. So where they post hundreds and hundreds of positions like PhD or postdocs or whatever it is in the field of evolutionary biology and genetics in general. I just found this one project that fit my interests, perfectly. So I had to join in August. So that was not, I didn't have a lot of time. Then I was really, a little conflicted about it. I didn't know if I had to take it or not. But again, this whole thing, with the race, my parents said, oh, take it. Why? What are you waiting for? Da, da, da. And, so many people telling me, my peers telling me, oh, you got it already. Take it, take it. It was like, when you're in your 5th year, it's like you count the number of people around you who already have a PhD. It's like, oh, did you? She got a PhD position already. Oh, she got a PhD. It adds so much stress and there's so much pressure, because if you're not getting a position, it's like something is wrong with you or something is wrong with your CV, and it's like you won't go anywhere, and it's really, really stressful. So I think I just gave into that pressure and I just accepted, and then I didn't get a break. So PhDs in Europe are mostly structured. So structured PhD programs are for a shorter duration of time than say unstructured, like how it is in India or US. So what you do in Europe is that you apply to a specific project. So you apply to a PhD position that is offered in a particular project. So you already know what you will be working on. So that is why the PhD usually just lasts for 3 or 4 years, like maximum of 4 years. So that is how it is, because you already know what you're working on. So when you join the project, you already start working on your project. I would say that it's your PhD. Yeah, for sure, it's very important. But I would say that you have to learn to separate it from your personal life. It's not a part of your personal life. So one good practice, even I have this practice, is that when I leave my university, when I leave my office in the university, I leave my work here. I don't care about my work at home. I don't carry a paper, to my apartment. I just don't want my academic life to interfere with my personal life. So when I think there is a point when you feel that it's affecting, that's a good practice to not mix the two. But I think at a point when you start realizing that maybe your academic life is taking up your personal life as well, and when you feel that it's affecting other aspects of your life too, that it should just be an this particular part of your life, and it's just leaking into other parts of your life, and it's in India, I think this is this practice that we have, that if you're a PhD student, you spend all your time in the lab, like 24/7, and your life is defined by your PhD. And this is who you are. You're always going to the lab. You either know your lab or your home, and that's it. So you have this whole time in your 4th year where you can actually sit and decide what you want to do. So I would say choose your working group very carefully for your master thesis, for your major project, because I think it is important. Your master thesis is important. It is very important what you work on. Your major project matters a lot, because the recommendation, because that's the biggest work experience you have until then. So it matters. So, and I think a lot of people who have PhD positions now in Europe, like some of my friends from batch 14, so when I talk to them, a lot of them, a majority of them have landed their PhD positions because of the work they did during their major project. So I would say major project is the most important part of your IISER life. Like, even if you don't have great internships, it's okay. Ensure that your major project, is really good. Like, even if you don't get extremely good results, it's fine, but ensure that you do something, like get something out of it. Like, you have to get something out of it, that you and to ensure that, pick the working group well, like make the right choice. Like, it's very, very important to make the right choice. So this is something that I would stress on again and again.